My name is Richard Rinaldi, and I was blessed to lead a group of 10 people to Guatemala, where we did a lot of different work for a school that we sponsor there. Not only that, we were blessed to love on children, show the compassion of Christ, and also do all kinds of fun activities with them. What I found to be the most powerful God moment of the trip was on the last day, where we wanted to bless these children with a meal from McDonald's. Well, as we were planning it, we planned for 95 meals to be purchased. We thought that was a good rough estimate based on the week's attendance. Well, as we were going to pick up the Happy Meals, our local missionary and I were discussing how many to get. And I felt prompted to actually go with a much bigger number. That number was 110. And lo and behold, that's exactly how many kids showed up that day.
So I'm Lee Saunders. I've been coming to the Pointe Church for several years now. This will be my third trip to Guatemala. And it's trips like this where you push yourself outside of your comfort zone that you learn what the Lord can do through you. It's when you take your weaknesses and He makes them into strengths. A perfect example of which is, working with the kids this last trip. I took over doing games with them. One game in particular was called a Ring-a-Ting-a-Ting, and it's a monkey see, monkey do type of game. And just to watch them laugh and, you could feel that they appreciate someone who's showing them love and affection, and it's something they may not get at home on a day-to-day basis. And it's moments like that where you step back and you look and say, this is not something I would normally do, and this is not one of my strong points. And you realize at that point that it's the Lord using your weaknesses and your failures to bless other people around you. And it's moments like that that make trips like this worth it to me.
My name is Matthew Price. This is my second trip to Guatemala. 4 weeks before we left, I had a real bad case of vertigo come in, was doubting going on this trip, was wanting to cancel, but something told me to stay the course. I went to sleep one night 3 days before we left. I had a dream that God healed me, felt water was in me take out, and woke up the next morning I was healed from my vertigo.
My name is Reggie Kiesler. Just recently returned from Guatemala City, a mission trip for the church. Was able to go down there and see what our dollars here at the church are going towards building a preschool nursery type building in Guatemala City. Really had the opportunity to work on the building and also to participate with the children in their activities during the afternoon. Really great opportunity again to see the dollars that this church is putting into missions on site, on the ground there.
Some of the things that stood out to me was just the time I spent with my daughters. One moment in particular, we were all doing face painting, and I was kind of wondering if I could do it, because I've never done anything like that, and usually they excel and leave me in the dust when it comes to things that are more creative. But I was able to come up with some ideas, and after a little while, most of the kids began to come in my line because I was using a little app that I had, and so the girls were getting a little jealous. So that was kind of fun, and I just was amazed at God's provision. We were able to finish every project that we started. I was focused on the electrical and lighting the premises of the school, and was able to do that with very limited resources. And at the end of the job, every resource and every need that we had to complete the task was available, and we were able to flip switches and lights come on, and had the power that we needed to see that school lit up. And I was just amazed at God's provision and God's blessing on the projects.
And one specific moment that stood out to me was this little boy who had a cast. His arm was broken. I don't know much Spanish, but I knew one word in Spanish, which was the color of what he wanted me to help him draw. And he was drawing a cat, I remember. And it was just like the littlest moment to him was like such a big deal.
The one thing that meant the most to me was this little girl. She came every single day, and she was very devoted to just learning about God, and she came every day and she would just give us stuff randomly. And she came one day with this note, and she had translated in English. She wanted me to come to her house, and she brought us stuff every day, and it was just crazy to see how they have so little and they're willing to share with us, and they hadn't even known us but a few days.
I got to hang with the children, I got to help paint, and I just got to help share God's word with the kids and with the people there, and it was a really amazing time.
First of all, why do I go on these trips? And I think the reason I do this is because it's an opportunity for me to go into a different culture, a different place, and see God work in a new and mysterious way.